Angela, so often you remind us that ideas do not go from the Republican Party to Fox News. They go from Fox News to the Republican Party. Media Matters dropped an article alleging that this so-called Biden indictment, impeachment, no different. Explain to us what happened.
And yes, I mean, it goes all the way back to Trump's first impeachment, actually. I mean, one of the pieces of disinformation and misinformation that was circulating through the right-wing media back then was that when Joe Biden was vice president, he used his position to get a Ukrainian general prosecutor fired so that he could in some way protect Hunter Biden's business deals, which they allege he's in on. And that was something that Trump was acting on. Trump, of course, a consumer of right-wing media, took that and then actually leveraged that against the Ukrainian government when he tried to get them to launch a probe into Joe Biden as Joe Biden began to become his opponent, which led to Donald Trump's impeachment. So this is literally the same core piece of misinformation. Jim Jordan on Fox News reflected that back out, explaining that their single best piece of evidence for the impeachment inquiry is this idea that Joe Biden used his position of power to somehow get the prosecutor fired to protect Hunter Biden. So in a way, this isn't new. It's the same thing sort of regurgitating. And that's because right after Joe Biden got inaugurated, Fox News alone did more than 3,618 segments about Hunter Biden since Joe Biden's inauguration. And they just perpetuated this myth that there's something corrupt there and that there's going to need to be a cause for action or impeachment. But it goes all the way back to when Trump was the president, to be honest.
Here's the thing. After Dominion, after the controversies that Fox has been through, I wonder what you make of their lingering influence on not only Republican politicians, but on Republican policies, agendas.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a weird position. They're sort of strapped between a rock and a hard place. They've lost about 30% of their audience. So they have lost a little bit of their leverage and power. And that's not just reflected in the day-to-day news cycle. They don't have the same uplift that they had historically. There are others now that can get things pushed into the right-wing zeitgeist to sort of pressure Republican politicians into picking up their narrative. So they're not the lone player anymore, whereas they were. They had a monopoly in the past. So that's one factor. So you sort of have these fringes, even further than Fox, that are out there able to leapfrog Fox News and directly inject something into the Republican zeitgeist that then Fox sort of has to chase after. So that's the first thing. They're not the lone player. They don't get to be the sole decision maker anymore. And they're trying to straddle all these realities. Their business realities, they're trying to hold on to their audience, they're trying to keep their political power. So that is affecting their coverage. But at the end of the day, it's still basically the same Fox News. I mean, they were calling for Joe Biden's impeachment. Literally, they used the word preemptive impeachment before Joe Biden was even elected president, when he was still running against Donald Trump. Fox News hosts back then were saying the Republicans should launch a preemptive impeachment effort against Joe Biden in case he wins. And so all we're really seeing is the fruition of something that has always been sort of core to Fox. And since Dominion, yeah, they've had to navigate some of the political fallback, but I said it in the wake of it, and I still think it's playing out day to day. Fox News is burning brighter and hotter. It's just there's a lot of other players out there burning hotter too, so I don't think we all realize just how hot they've gotten.
I've only got about a minute left, but I do want to go back to something you said, which is if what they are trying to do is create this sense among their viewers that the impeachments we're talking about are apples to apples, when they're not even apples to oranges or apples to kittens, it's apples compared to an apple that does not actually exist in the real world. How then do you undercut that? How do you get back to the truth?
I mean, part of it is that this is a much deeper question for our society, which is that, in reality, what we're facing in front of us is actually more like trench warfare. We won't solve this conflict in a single cycle or a single month or a single narrative or a single news cycle. We are going to have to weather the storm, and this is going to be on the margins. And right now, they're succeeding because they've created the pressure enough for Republicans to launch this. We have to talk about it now because it's a reality. But in the long term, we have to continue to neutralize Fox News' destructive power, and that's by not letting them cheat the system the way they do. And there has to be consequences. Others have to change the way they interact with Fox News. We can't treat it like it is a legitimate news operation when, in fact, it has fully exposed itself since Dominion as a political operation. And that has to be the fundamental. Nothing can really sustainably change unless we actually, all of us, actually change the way we deal with, talk about, and think about Fox, because they're not a news operation.
Angela